Everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this time this is the most important video of the entire series, because in this video only I'll be sharing how can you write a poetry or poem. That's on you. So it's the last part, and watch till the end because it's gonna be the most important one. The previous ones were the side parts for it. So let's begin the video. So writing a poem isn't the same as writing a short story or an essay or email or any other type of writing. While each of these other kinds of writing requires a unique approach, they all have in common that they are prose. Poetry isn't prose, as I explained above, and that's what it makes feel like the wild card of creative writing. With poetry, going through the standard writing process can feel like a little bit creativity killer. That doesn't mean you should just sit down, scroll out a poem, and call it a day. On the contrary, when you are writing a poet, you might find that skipping one or more stages in the traditional writing process will help you more creative. Of course, you might also find that following the writing process helps you explore and organize your thoughts before you start to write. This will also starting with brainstorming, then moving on to outlining, then the starting to write only once you have got an outline varies from poet to poet, even to poem. So sometimes an inspiration strikes with the words that just start flowing out of your mind and onto the page. So these are the some tips that you should help you get started and write your next poem. So decide what you want to write about. That's the first topic that should come to your mind, and the first step of writing a poem is determine what to write about. Look for inspirations around you, perhaps in nature, your community, current events, or the people in your life. Take notes on how different things make you feel and what they drive you to think about. Free writing can be a very helpful exercise when you're searching for the perfect topic to write a poem about. You can use a writing prompt as a jumping off point to your free writing, or just to jot down a word and see where your mind guides your pen. Stream of consciousness style. Once you have a topic and theme in mind, the next challenge is to determine which kind of poem is the best way to express it. Determine the best format for your topic. This is the second one, and or, or it's not that important if you're listening to the poetry, but yeah, you are writing it, so it's something that's very important. Your poem doesn't have to adhere to any specific format, but choosing a format and sticking to it might be the way to go. By opting to write in the particular format like a sonnet or a limerick. For example, you can state your writing and force yourself to find your way to creativity. Express your theme while fitting the format's constraints. So the third one is explore words, rhymes and rhythms. So if you decided to write a poem in a specific format, read other poems in that format to give yourself a template to follow. A specific rhythm or rhyme scheme can highlight themes and clever wordplay in your poem. So for example, you might determine that a limerick is the most effective way to make your readers laugh at your satirical poem because the format feels like a built-in punchline. The fourth one is write the poem. Now it's time to write actually. So whether you opt for using a pen and a paper, typing on a laptop, or tapping your phone, give yourself some uninterrupted time to focus on writing the poem. Or gather some time for you in a day and just start writing. Don't expect to write something perfect on the first time actually. Instead, focus on getting your words out. Even if your lines don't rhyme perfectly, or you've got too many or too few syllables to fit the format you choose, write what's on your mind actually. The theme your words are expressing is more important than the specific words themselves, and you can always revise your poem later. Edit what you have written at. The fifth step is edit. Editing is the something the most important step for any writer actually, because you have just put on the words on the paper, and this time it's time to make it in the perfect way possible. So once you have a draft, the next step is to edit your poem. You would have to jump right from it writing to editing. In fact, it's better if you don't. Give yourself a break, then in a day or two back to your poem, which is a critical. By that we mean read it again, taking funny spots where you can replace a word with a stronger one. tighten your rhythm, make your imagery more vivid, or even more word or stanzas that aren't adding anything to it. So when you do this, you might realize that a poem would work better in another form, that your poem would be stronger if it rhymed or if it didn't. Reading a poem aloud can help you edit it more effectively because when you listen to it, you hear the poem rhythm and quickly notice any spots where the rhythm doesn't work out. So this helps you move around words or even completely restructure the poem. If you're comfortable sharing your poetry with others, have somebody else read your poem and give you feedback on ways you can improve it. You might even want to join a writing group online or offline. Here you can workshop your poetry with other writers. Often other people can spot strengths and weaknesses in your work that you might not have noticed because your perspective is too close to the poem. A more distant perspective as well as perfect perspectives from readers and writers of different backgrounds can offer up make your writing stronger that you hadn't considered before. So that's all for this. Uh, to how to write a poem and how can you just make it perfect, but the more important thing is you should know the correct spellings, the correct vocabulary. Expand your vocabulary. I will be telling you ways how can you expand your vocabulary in the later videos, so I'll be sharing that too. But you should know how can you write in a perfect sentence actually. You should build perfect sentence, you should rhyme it, you should give it a rhythm, you should share it with others so that they can give it a better perspective, because if you are reading your own poem you think that you have written a great poem, but that's not actually true always. You, according to psychology if I can say, you are 30% more attracted towards your poem than others. So that's not the case actually. So uh, give yourself some time before editing it so you can change some words, because editing is not one, it's not a just like continued thing. You have to do it in a one go actually, because editing takes time. you sh- have you should have 2 to 3 hours of the day for the editing part, because ideas doesn't come out easily. You have to put pressure on your mind for the editing work. For the writing work, you should just have to write your words out, what's that on your mind. But for the editing work, you have to put your mind on work so much that it gets pressured so much. So, I have experienced it uh, from myself. I can say that just give a time to editing part, not to the writing part, because editing that what makes something great, not the writing one. Writing is just you are putting your words out in a page, in on laptop, on phone. That's on you. So if there's anything that is troubling you, it can be spellings, can be lines. So you can do. I have told you that you can or use auto spell checkers, or you can give it to someone to check these errors that are in there, or for spellings if you're weak with spellings, or if you can use the one software that is something very important, that is Grammarly, because Grammarly can suggest you some tips how can you improve the quality of the sentence. That's what it's here. So that's all for the series. I hope you have understood how to write poetry, what is poetry, what are different forms of it, what are the elements of the poetry. Hope you have understood everything. And if there's anything that you want me to repeat, or you can always comment down in the section and I'll reply to it. Uh, so if you have liked the series, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. That's all I can say. So that's on you. So thank you very much.